Alright Scouser, let's get into it. You know how it goes, the mighty Reds don't do things the easy way, and today was no exception. At the City Ground, the lads had a tricky start against Forest. It was one of those moments where Big Virg and the rest of the backline just didn't click, and Chris Wood took full advantage. But don't worry, cop it, we're breaking it all down, from the early setback to what the lads need to sharpen up on, so grab your brew, and let's dive into it together. Today's clash at the City Ground was anything but straightforward for our mighty Reds. A slow start, a clinical Forest, and then, boom, Diogo Jota comes off the bench and changes everything in just 22 seconds. But here's the twist, Steve McManaman called on Slot's decision ridiculous, Rio Ferdinand had some harsh words for Virgil van Dijk, and Chris Wood's goal has sparked a debate you won't want to miss. Stick around because I'm breaking it all down, what went wrong, what went right, and what's next for Liverpool. Trust me, you'll want to hear every detail. Let's go. Right, so let me set the scene for you. After 2 grueling domestic cup matches, Arne Slot finally had the luxury of fielding his strongest 11, the destination? The City Ground, to face third-placed Forest, the only team to have beaten Slot in the league so far. Revenge was on the menu, wasn't it? But it didn't start that way. 8 minutes in, Forest struck first. Chris Wood, the danger man, tucked one past Alisson, completely against the run of play. Gutting, wasn't it? You could see the frustration creeping into Liverpool's game. Virgil van Dijk and Dominic Szoboszlai had a bit of a tiff. The Hungarian wasn't shy about pointing out a few fouls the ref, Chris Kavanagh, yes, the Manchester-born ref, conveniently ignored. Frustrating doesn't even cover it. Liverpool resorted to hopeful long shots as Gravenberch, Gakpo, Diaz, all aiming for the stars instead of the net, and Diaz, oh Diaz, mate, he had a golden chance on the counter and absolutely fluffed the pass to Gakpo. To rub salt in the wound, Murillo clattered into Diaz soon after, and Kavanagh just waved it away. You could feel the injustice brewing, couldn't you? By half-time, it was Forest 1-0 Liverpool, and let's be honest, we were our own worst enemy. Wasteful shots, slow build-up, we'd played right into their hands. Now, second half. Did it start better? Not exactly, more of the same. Then, finally, in the 65th minute, Slot made the changes we were screaming for. On came Diogo Jota and Kostas Tsimikas, and what a masterstroke it was. 22 seconds after stepping on the pitch, Tsimikas delivered a peach of a corner, and Jota powered it home with his head, back in it. Jota was on fire, testing their keeper twice in quick succession, and suddenly the game opened up. This was Liverpool territory now. Mo Salah had a golden chance after a flowing move, the kind of chance you'd bet your house on him burying, but his finish. Awful, mate, let's just call it a miss and move on. From there, Liverpool piled on the pressure, patient but relentless. Salah finally got a couple of cracks on target, but their keeper was up to the task, and while it looked like we'd find a winner, it just wasn't our day. Full time, Forest 1-1 Liverpool, 2 points dropped, but let's be real, we can't just point at the ref or miss chances. That first hour. Not good enough, the spark came too late. Slot subs saved our blushes, but this is a game we should have had in the bag. Alright, mate, let me walk you through this one. Liverpool, at the City Ground, battling Nottingham Forest, and what a match it turned out to be. The Reds fought back to earn a 1-1 draw, and trust me, it was an emotional rollercoaster. Now, Forest, they're not messing around this season. They came out swinging, looking every bit like a side ready to make a title charge. Chris would put them ahead early, and from then on, it felt like everything was stacked against us. The referee, Chris Kavanagh, let's just say he didn't make it easy for us. Arne Slot, our gaffer, was absolutely fuming on the touchline, and honestly, I don't blame him. It felt like every call went their way. But here's where it gets good, the moment that turned it all around. Second half, 65th minute, Slot decides to roll the dice. He brings on Diogo Jota and Kostas Tsimikas, and get this, 22 seconds later Tsimikas whips in a beauty of a cross, and Jota rises like a salmon to head it home. One of the smallest lads on the pitch, beating their big lads to the ball. Ridiculous. Even Steve McManaman, covering the game on TNT Sports, couldn't believe it. He called it one of the most ridiculous things he's seen. Tsimikas crossing, Jota scoring, and all in less than half a minute of being on the pitch. Honestly, it's the stuff you dream about as a fan, isn't it? Jota's impact was instant, like flipping a switch, and let me tell you, this isn't just about one game. This lad's going to be crucial for us in the second half of the season. His energy, his knack for being in the right place at the right time, it's pure class. Now, I know what you're thinking, we could have had all 3 points, and you're right, the first half was sluggish, and Forest capitalized, but credit where it's due, the subs changed the game, and we showed fight when it mattered. So, yeah, it's another frustrating result, but there's plenty to build on. Alright, now let's talk about that opening goal against Forest, because there's a lot to unpack here. It came early, didn't it? Just 7 minutes in, and Chris would put them ahead with a tidy finish past Alisson, but let's get to the nitty-gritty. Was it preventable? According to Rio Ferdinand, it was, and his focus was on Virgil van Dijk's positioning. Now, I know what you're thinking, Virgil. Our defensive rock. But hear this out, Ferdinand reckons it was Van Dijk's body shape that gave Wood the little opening he needed. He said, Virgil engages with the man on the ball, but his body turns away from Wood, and that, my friend, is where Wood found his opportunity, that slight angle, that extra yard. It's a game of fine margins, and Wood didn't waste it. He slotted it into the far corner with precision, credit where it's due. It was a quality strike. But wait, there's more. Peter Crouch, another pundit on duty, pointed out something else, Forest's ruthlessness. They soaked up all the pressure we threw at them in the opening minutes, 2 centre-halves blocking everything, no panic, and then boom, 1 chance, 1 goal, clinical, wasn't it? And Crouch highlighted where we went wrong, a bit sloppy in midfield, with Gravenberch losing possession. That opened the door for Callum Hudson-Odoi to pounce, Elanga to pick the right pass, and Wood to finish the job. It's a tough one to swallow because we were on top early on. You could feel the momentum building, couldn't you? But football's like that sometimes, 1 slip, 1 lapse, and the game flips on its head. Forest took their chance, simple as that. But let me tell you something, we're Liverpool, we've faced worse and bounced back stronger. Moments like this are frustrating, but they're also what fuel the fight, and with the quality we've got in this team, you know we'll learn from it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me bring you more exclusive Liverpool content, straight to you. Remember, you'll never walk alone.